I'm Nick Geiser, the City of Biloxi Emergency Manager and Deputy Chief of Training in the Biloxi Fire Department. Are you ready for hurricane season? Are you prepared for a hurricane, a tropical storm, or even a flood event? I'm here to remind you about the precautions you should take before, during, and after a storm. First, have a plan. Plan an evacuation route, prepare a storm kit, make arrangements for family, including your pets and flood insurance, and develop an emergency communication plan. Let's talk about planning an evacuation route. You need to know what route to take, how to get where you need to go, and plan for alternative routes. Having an emergency evacuation plan can help you and your family get to safety and avoid getting stranded. Just go to the evacuation map link in the Storm and Flood Preparedness section of the city's website, biloxi.ms.us, to determine the safest route. Be prepared to drive several miles inland to locate a safe place. Next, prepare a storm kit. If you have not already done so, make a storm kit today. Here's some essentials the kit should include. Water. At least 1 gallon of water per person per day for 3 to 7 days. Food. Non-perishable packaged or canned food and juices are a great idea. Don't forget the paper products, utensils, and cooking tools. First aid and medication. These should include a first aid kit, prescription medications, and baby and pet supplies. Tools and emergency supplies. This includes items such as flashlights and extra batteries, duct tape, portable battery-operated radios, a can opener, phone chargers, and cash and credit cards. Clothes and bedding. Include some sturdy shoes and warm blankets. And make sure to store important documents like medical records, insurance paperwork, bank account numbers, social security cards in a waterproof container or resealable plastic bag. Next, make arrangements for family and pets. Make sure that each family member knows how to respond. Teach members how and where and when to turn off gas, electric, and water. Teach your children how and when to call 911 and the police or fire departments, and which radio stations to tune in to for emergency information. If you have a pet, make sure the place you are planning to stay allows pets. Many shelters do not. Contact your local humane society for information on local animal shelters. Prepare your home by trimming back dead or weak branches from trees. Protect your windows with storm shutters or plywood boarding. For plywood, use half-inch wood cut to fit the windows and pre-drill holes every 18 inches for screws. And don't forget about flood insurance. This should also be checked into before a storm. You can find out about the National Flood Insurance Program through your local insurance agent or emergency management office. Another thing we ask you to consider is direct deposit for things like Social Security checks or even paychecks. The U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve Banks urge Social Security check recipients who live along the Gulf Coast to use direct deposit to ensure immediate access to their benefits without disruption. Lastly, develop an emergency communications plan for your family. If a storm causes members to be separated from one another, it is important to communicate a plan for getting back together. Designate a contact outside of your area, such as a relative or friend, to serve as the emergency contact. Make sure everyone knows the name, address, and phone number of the contact person. The contact would be your connection to family and friends, even if there is no way to contact each other. Remember, a disaster can strike quickly, so be prepared. For more information, you can go to the city's website and click on the Storm and Flood tab on the homepage. Also, don't forget to sign up for Be Alert. This is the city's messaging system for traffic and weather advisories. To sign up, text BILOXI to 888-777. Finally, we remind you of this. Those days and hours leading up to a storm can be an anxious and stressful time. Should you evacuate? Will the storm make landfall, and if so, when and where? And the list goes on and on. We'll certainly help communicate those answers with the best information. However, right now, we're giving you a host of simple things you can do to be ready. Taking these steps also will take a good bit of the anxiety and stress from the situation. Let's all be ready and prepared next time a storm threatens. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at ngeiser@biloxi.ms.us or reach me by calling the Biloxi Fire Department at 228-435-6200.
Hi, my name is David Williams. I'm Battalion Chief with the Biloxi Fire Department. And behind me is the newest vehicle to our fleet, Unit 82. Basically what Unit 82 is, it's a rolling gear truck. After a fire, when the guys go in, they fight fire, they come out, there's smoke, there's carcinogens all over their gear. This vehicle is equipped with 50 new sets of gear, gloves, Nomex hoods. When this gear arrives on scene, the firefighters would come out of the house, they would go to a decon station, they would get scrubbed down, their gear would then be taken, put in a bag, and put in the back of the vehicle, which is called the dirty compartment. Then they would come around to the front, which in the front, like I said, we have 50 new sets of gear, gloves and Nomex. They would be issued new sets. Once the gear is bagged up and put in the back, and the guys have their new gear, Unit 82 goes to either Station 1 or Station 7, which has our gear extractors, which is a washer and dryer, but it's a little bit more heavy duty to handle firefighters' gear. Once it's washed and dried, it'll be returned back to the firefighter, and the firefighter that had the gear off of Unit 82 will then replace it back on Unit 82. You know, Chief Boney has done a lot of research on cancer, and you know, the latest statistics are showing that firefighters are 63% more likely to get cancer than the normal average citizen. So you know, that's a pretty big spike in cancer-related deaths or cancer among firefighters nationwide. So anything we can do to try to keep the carcinogens off of us, bringing it back to the stations, and God forbid, bringing it back to our families. This is the dirty compartment we were talking about. Once the firefighters come out of the fire, they take their gear off, they decon, they bag and tag it. The tag would have their name, what station they were at, so we know whose gear is here. They would come and throw it in here. This compartment is 100% completely sealed off from the front compartment. We also added 2 vents on the sides, so all the off gases that are coming off the gear as it's being transported from the fire scene back to Station 1 or 7 vents out of the 2 side vents. All right, this is what we call our clean side. Once the firefighters bag their gear and they leave it on the dirty side, they would come around here to the front. We would ask the firefighters what size gear they wear, pants and jackets. And as you can see here on the shelves, we have turnout jackets, we have turnout pants, we have all new gloves, Nomex hoods, anything the firefighter needs to go back to the station knowing that they're clean.
As Chief Williams showed you the vehicle, it's been a project of ours. The city committed to allowing us to do this. This is an ongoing effort by the Biloxi Fire Department to protect our people against cancer and byproducts of fire which cause cancer. It cost us $8,000 to refurbish the vehicle. It costs about $135,000 to buy the equipment to put in here, the turnout gear, which saves the city about $290,000. Originally, we had talked about purchasing every firefighter a set of turnout gear. We broke that into a third. We bought enough for one shift, and we feel like This cost savings and the process of this truck, of this vehicle, will allow us to provide the same service that we would by spending the extra money to buy everybody a second set of turnout gear. This vehicle was put together and built by firefighters for firefighters, and it just goes to show their commitment to protecting themselves and their families. So again, we want to thank the city for allowing us the ability to do this. It's a small process, but it's really big in the overall picture of protecting our firefighters.